Okay, so good morning, guys. So sorry for yesterday. I'm not no taking up the session because like I was not well, and today like we just started. We will be starting today with the Jenkins, right? The Jenkins day 3 session. Okay, so in the last class, if you remember, right, we had discussed on the architecture of what exactly how exactly the projects are built, right? And what is the continuous integration and continuous delivery, right? Continuous deployment, as well as we had even understood about like what was the integration which was it was happened earlier. Like Big Bang integration was the one which was happened earlier, right? That was adopted very in early 2000, right? And how we slowly shifted, right? And like nowadays all the stuffs, right, whatever we are developing under the agile process. So DevOps is actually basically integrated with the agile process actually. So DevOps is integrated with the agile process. We will be discussing these things also later. So, and after that, what happened at once, after that, what we had did, right? We just to try to understand like how we can install Jenkins on Ubuntu Linux, right? And we had showed you like the whole stuff, right? How to, what is the configuration, the server configuration which you need to set up, right? It means that what exactly the machine you need to allocate, right? How much RAM memory, how much CPU, what is nothing, what is the type you need to, you need to pick while installing Jenkins, right? So and like as I said, like Jenkins is a beast actually. Why I say beast? Because Jenkins occupies a lot of like memory. It needs a lot of memory, it needs a lot of storage, plus it needs a lot of CPU also. So that's the reason I'm going with little higher configuration, that is T2 dot medium, which is 2 GB and 16 GB of RDD and two virtual CPU. So this is some kind of a idle thing what we can go ahead with while practicing ourselves on Jenkins actually. But as I said, right, you can still work on T2 dot micro, but T2 dot micro is very small. It means that it is very small configuration, plus your Jenkins will become very slow. You cannot parallel run more than 2 to 3 jobs actually. Whereas in T2 medium, you can run at a time some 6 parallel jobs you can run. So that is suffice in T2 dot medium. So in our session, right, in a whole Jenkins session, we would go with the T2 dot medium itself. Yeah, of course, sometime I will show you in the T2 dot large also, X large or large. Why I will go with this, I will tell you later. Okay. This is also a little bit more higher configuration than the T2 dot medium. So for what reason I will go with the T2 dot large, I will let you know later. Okay. But as of now, in our whole discussion of Jenkins, we will go with the T2 dot medium itself, right? As well as because this is in case of AWS. In case of Azure and all, you can go with the standard B1S also, or else a little bit higher configuration than this. I'll also show you later after some point of time how to install Jenkins in your Azure platform, right? And how to install Jenkins and all, like we had discussed. And the prerequisite for installing Jenkins is nothing but you need to either install the Java 11 or Java 17, right? Or Java 17. Any Java 8 will not work now. Earlier it used to work. Now it is Java 11 or Java 17 you need to install it. So we prefer to go with the Java 11 and we installed it. So this is what you we had discussed in the last session. And also I had requested everyone to go with the CentOS, right? Installing the same stuff either in CentOS 7.8 or 8. This is what I had requested you. So if you are not gone through it, just let you do this exercise now. Okay, you can complete this exercise in this week itself. Okay, so that you can even try out with other flavors of Linux also, right? So that's all. Now, what we would be doing today, guys. So, what I would say that today, let me do a quick installation of Jenkins once again. I'll do one more time because some of you might have missed it. If somebody has some kind of a doubts, they can ask me. But I will do it again one more time, right? And then like we can proceed. We will proceed with our Jenkins session. Okay. And also we will even see there are many times like in many of the interviews they will ask like what are the different ways of your installation of Jenkins. Suppose like for example you say that have you installed Windows Jenkins in Windows? Yes, you can say Jenkins you have installed in Windows. Yes, you can say that I have installed Jenkins on Windows. Either you do an installation of the package or as directly or install the Jenkins package and uh, Java Java by referring to official document of from Jenkins. So you have to go to the Jenkins.io. The right, this is the official site where you can follow the step of installing the Jenkins on Windows platform. Right. So there also you need to install Java, and there also you have to install the Jenkins package. Everything you need to do setup. But most of the industries they're not going with installing Jenkins on Windows actually. Okay, there are many reasons are there. So, but yeah, some industries they're still going in. Like in my case, in my company, right, there we are still installing the whole Jenkins, like it installed in the Windows server itself. But you could see that many of the industries now they are not at all going with the Windows. They are going with installing Jenkins either in Linux, or in Linux means either in Ubuntu or in Red Hat or in CentOS. So any one of the Linux flavor, they'll go ahead with installation of Jenkins, right? So this is one thing. Or else, what you can do that you can even install the Jenkins, like just to download the. This could be the first method. This is a question which they ask. What are the different ways of installing Jenkins? So Jenkins can also be installed on Linux also, and which we have been doing. We can install either in Amazon Linux, right? Or else you can even install on uh, Ubuntu, or even install on Red Hat or CentOS. Any of this operating system you can use to install it. Third, you can download the Jenkins.jar file directly from Jenkins.io site. You can directly, you can just directly download the guys this one Jenkins.jar file, and in Windows, and in your Windows machine, since in your Windows machine means you should have Windows. There you can place this Jenkins.var in any of the folder, and in the command line, means either in the shell command line, DOS command line, or in the PowerShell command line. In the PowerShell command line, execute the command like Java. What is it? A Java command. What is the command, guys? I have forgotten. Java. Java hyphen j Jenkins.war something. This is the command which we are using. So once you run this, guys, once you run this command, what happened, right? This Java will be up and running. So you are directly running a jar file actually, right? So this also some people do it, but this is not preferable because this is just for suppose you want to try out your hands on, right? You can directly, you need not to go with installation and all. Directly have to run this Java Jenkins.jar file. So then you have to install first. You need to install the Java in your system, and then just call the Java command and specify the jar file. It will up and running, right? Or else fourth one, a lot of people prefer to install or go with installing Jenkins on Docker container. This is the most preferred. Most of industries, right, they are using this way. So instead of doing all this thing, right, they can create a container, Docker container. On top of the Docker container, you can run a Java, your Java image you can run, so that the Java will be up and running in a Docker container, and you can actually like you can run the, you can do any kind of operation, CI/CD pipelining, anything within that container, right? So this is what the most preferably choose by a lot of people. In a lot of industries, they use this actually. Or else what happened, right? You can install the Tomcat, Apache Tomcat. You can install. This is a application server, right? You know that JBoss Apache Tomcat application server. So here also you can download the Jenkins dot zip file from official site, place into the Tomcat server, Tomcat application server, and run the Jenkins app. This is also one of the preferred way, guys, actually. So these are the different methods where by using any one of these methods, right, you can uh, install Java or you can run Java, you can say. So this is one of the intro questions which they'll ask you, right? So we can even see this how to do this by going with installation of Jenkins on Docker container. Right? We will see this also after some time. We'll see. So now what we'll be doing now quickly. So let me log into the my AWS account. So I log into my AWS account, guys. So console.aws.amazon.com. Let me log into my user account. So I have so I have just logged into my console. So here you see that this is my AWS console home page, right? So here you are having a shortcuts or the dashboard. So I'll just click on this here, EC2, right? And if I go to this, let me check whether I have the installed Jenkins or not. Yeah, last time I had installed it in Northern Virginia, but I had terminated that instance, right? So let me create it one more time. So I'll go to the launch instance. I'll just say Jenkins hyphen server. This is what I will be giving the name of the tag. I will select with the Ubuntu itself because in the last session also I had gone with the Ubuntu itself. So let me select the Ubuntu 20.04, right? And come down over here. I will not go with the T2.micro. You can go with, but as I said, right, the system will become little slow. Not little slow, very much slow. So I'll go with the T2.medium. So T2 family, I'll go with this actually. So this is what it is, and this is chargeable, guys. I said it's not free, whereas this one is free. If you are still under free trial, right? If you are still under free trial eligible, it is not chargeable actually. But whereas from apart from T2 dot micro and T2 dot nano, right? Others are all paid actually. So you need to go with the T2 dot medium, right? Come over here. Now let me check whether you have any key. Yeah, I already have a key pair, so I'll select that one. Come over here. I'll go to the selected the existing security group. Click on here. And the last time, right, when I was explaining about Ansible, I would have created this security group. So let me check the same security group. So any other things? Yeah, you by default 8 GB is a the root partition disk size is given. You can go with more than this, but okay, 8 GB is fine for me as of now. So anything other than this, any other thing is required? No, it's not required. So whatever you selected here, guys, you could see that you will get the configuration or the summary here in this side actually, so that you will understand what exactly you have selected for your instance actually, right? So here I'll just say launch instance. So you launch the instance and you'll go with the view install. So this is up and coming. And let me don't think. Let me create one more instance just to show you about like how exactly you can run a Jenkins in a Docker container. So I will launch one more instance. So I'll just create something like a Docker hyphen server. Okay, and I will choose Ubuntu Linux itself, Ubuntu Linux, and I will go with the 20.04. Okay, and what else? Do you need any other high? I don't need any high configuration. I can go with the T.micro itself, fine. So this is okay. What about the key pair? I'll go with the Jenkins key pair itself. I'll go with the existing security group, that is Ansible. Come down, nothing else, just launch it. So here,
Rajesh,
guys, I have created two servers actually. So this one is a Jenkins server where I'll be installing Jenkins. This is nothing but I'll be showcasing in the how exactly you can run a Jenkins on a Docker container. Yes, sir. Tell me. Go ahead.
yes, one just a small suggestion. So every time, like, I mean, now after session, you're going to shut down and stop it, right? Again
Hmm,
tomorrow, again starting.
hmm.
So we can make it like useful for your time saving. We can make it a simple Terraform code and then add this one user data. It will be like 5 minutes. We can
Hmm.
complete.
Yeah, that we can do it. So what I will be doing, sir, this is the third session which you're doing. I am showcasing one more time Jenkins
Okay.
server. Next
Mhm.
class onwards, what I will do, I can go with that, or else before the class starts, I would have already set up a Jenkins server.
Okay.
So when
Fine.
I'm taking a fourth session or fifth session, you could see that Jenkins server is up and running. I will not show any installation thereafter.
Okay. Mm.
Okay, or I can go with your method, what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, good sir, thank you. So this is up and running, guys. So let me click on this. I'll have a public IP. So copy this. So what I'll do, I'll go to my download directory where I have my this is my download directory where I have my putty exe. I'll go with this. I'll just copy it. Some of you have said that it is not like it is not some blur is there. Somebody people were saying actually. So I'll go with a small like size actually and appearance color connection. I'll go with 30. This is the timeout actually. Okay. And SSH. I'll go with the auth credential. Give here. Go the Jenkins.ppk file. Already I have created this. Open it and just say launch and accept it. So here guys, I have to log in as a Ubuntu. So this is my Jenkins server guys. Okay. So let me do one thing. So let me do a sudo apt update. So this is the first command. This will be doing your package update, right? All your apt apt package repo update it will do, right? So after this, what I will do here, I'll just say sudo hostname ctl set hyphen hostname Jenkins dot server. This is the host name. I'm just creating it. So I could see that my host name has been changed here. Okay. So now what I will do, I need to install Java actually, right? You know very well that before you install your Jenkins, you have to first have a Java. So for installing Java, I have already have this command in you I've executed just now. I need not to re-execute again. So this is the command sudo apt cache search for OpenJDK just to show you that, or this will show in the cache that actually which are all the existing OpenJDK available. So as I said, right, you have OpenJDK 11, you have OpenJDK 17. I can go with the 17 also, but let me go with the OpenJDK 11. So this is the package I will be installing it actually. So I'll just say sudo apt install. Let me clear the screen, guys. Then say OpenJDK hyphen y. Now you could see that you know very well that when I logged into the system, guys, when I logged in system, I logged in as a Ubuntu user. So Ubuntu user is a default user when you're logging in, and Ubuntu is also a sudo user. You have to understand. It is also a sudo user. So Java is getting installed. So that's a prerequisite, right? For Jenkins, always Java should be there, and the latest Java, whatever, the latest Jenkins, whatever we are installing, it expects minimum Java 11 to be available in your system. Okay, so it's almost done. Yes, it's done. Now, how to verify it? You can just say Java hyphen version. So if you run this command, you could see that OpenJDK 11, that is a Java version 11 is already available. It is installed. Now, what is the step you need to install, guys? You need to install the your Jenkins actually, right? So to do that, actually, you have to always go with the official site actually. So installation of installing installing of Jenkins on Ubuntu. You go here, you could see that this is a site, guys, official site Jenkins.io. So I have to go here, and if you click on here, these are the prerequisite. We already saw everything in the last session, and you could see the Java requirement. So Java should be there, and afterwards, you know that you are actually installing your Jenkins in the Ubuntu server. So that's what you need to follow this long-term support release. This is what you need to install it. So let me copy paste this whole command. Copy it and paste over here, and just say enter. So here also copy it completely here and paste over here. Some people will get confused, guys. You will just to select this two line and try to run it. No, don't do that. See, whenever you're using slash, whenever you're using slash, it means that it is a continuation. So here there's a slash. It means that this line is continuing here. Here also there's a slash. It means continuing. It means that you need to copy from here till here like this. Okay. Then again you run. So this you
Hello,
have installed it. Yes, sir.
hello. सर ये क्या चीज़ है सर, ये जो अपन कर रहे हैं, मतलब ये जो रेपोजिटरी बना रहे हैं, ये क्या चीज़ है सर ये?
Hey, this is Amit, ये क्या है बोलते हो? These are the steps, Amit. ये क्या long term support release, right? This is what you need to follow it actually while installing Jenkins. You cannot go with the weekly release. Weekly release में क्या है बोलो तो? There are two types of installation. Either you can go with the long term support release, or either you can go with the weekly release. Weekly releases you should not go. आप weekly release में मत जाइए because यहाँ पर stable नहीं रहेगा आपका Jenkins. लॉन्ग टर्म में हमेशा क्या है, हमेशा जो भी सॉफ्टवेयर आप एलटीएस देखते हो ना, उसका मतलब क्या है, वो हमेशा स्टेबल रहता है। वही स्टेप आपको फॉलो करना चाहिए जो लॉन्ग टर्म सपोर्ट में है। डोंट गो विथ वीकलीज। यहां पर मैं क्या कर रहा हूं, इन्होंने स्टेप्स दिया है जेनकिंस वालों ने कि ये आप ये कॉपी करके रन करो, ये कॉपी रन करके रन करो, पहले आप एग्जीक्यूट करो। ये क्या कर रहा है पता, व्हाट इट इज डूइंग, व्हाट दिस डूइंग बेसिकली, इट इज एडिंग दिस डेबियन की, Debian stable key.io. This is what it is getting added. It means that जो आपका लिनक्स है, Ubuntu लिनक्स है, राइट? Ubuntu लिनक्स क्या होता है? Ubuntu लिनक्स, so you have something as apt. apt is apt. Apt is nothing but it is a repo what is used in Ubuntu लिनक्स. Similarly आपका Red Hat हो या फिर CentOS हो, ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ लिनक्स इट फॉलोज अप दी yum और rpm वे से. So you need to have a rpm repo, right? तो यहां पर क्या कर रहा है, you need to install the Jenkins actually. For Jenkins to install, right, these are the repo need to be added actually. कहां पर ऐड कर रहा है, यहां देखो, where it is adding under etc app to source list dot d jenkins dot list. यहां पर ये repo पूरा, ये पूरा ऐड कर रहा है. So that's what you have to understand.
ओके
So
ओके सर,
what,
यस, अंडरस्टैंड
so
इट।
yes, now you have to run this, now you have to run this command. So once you have executed these commands, guys, you need to always do an update actually. Update, what it will do, it will refresh again that source.list, whatever etc app source.list.d is, right? It will refresh it again. It will reconsider it again. That's what you have to run this. Okay, it is done now. Now you need to install the Jenkins. Now, if you run it, if you say sudo apt get install Jenkins, run it. If you run it, you see it will ask me for the confirmation. Do you want to continue? Yes or no? At this operation, it needs 94.5 MB. But when you're running at the first shot itself, if you can execute a command sudo apt get install Jenkins space -y, so that this will not be, this will be considered as yes only. So, but anyhow, I will go with the yes, y, and say enter. So now let this installation go. Let me check what is there in our Docker. Docker has come up. Good. Docker is also, so there is one server. So let me connect to this Docker container, sorry, Docker server. So copy this public IP, go to your download, open this putty session, copy this public IP, and putty, after that nothing, here you make it as a 30, come to this, come to the auth credential, select that Jenkins.ppk file, open it and say Docker, and log in as a Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu. So this is my Docker server, guys, right? So this is my Jenkins server where Jenkins is getting installed. Yes, it has installed now. This is my Docker container, right? So let me do a thing. Let me try to do a. Let me do a thing. First, let me complete this installation, guys. Then we'll go with the Docker, right? So now the Jenkins installation is complete now, right? How to check whether the Jenkins is up and running? You have to run a command systemctl, okay, status Jenkins.service. I could see that always whenever you're installing it, after installation is happened, right, Jenkins automatically the service will be restarted. You could see that the Jenkins is active and up and running, guys. Right? So systemctl is a command to verify whether that service is up or not, right? So one more thing, you need to run one more command, systemctl enable Jenkins.service. Jenkins.service. So this also you need to run. Why? Because that system, okay guys, sorry, I need to run a sudo command, sudo systemctl enable, right? So what this will do means, once the suppose assume that after some point of time you're trying to install some public plugins. So basically during the plugin, what happened, right? Some plugins might expect the Jenkins to be restarted at that same time itself, at the same instance itself. So then automatically what happened, your Jenkins server will get restarted. Once it will restarted, what happened again, the service will be up and running. It will come up. So when it will come up and running, when you're making it as an enable, actually, whenever you make it as enable, you're saying that whenever any restart happens, right, it should automatically come up, it should automatically get restarted. That's the reason we have to always do a enable, actually. So always make sure that, guys, this command you need to run, systemctl sudo systemctl status. This is a command you need to run, or you need to, this is a command to check it and to enable it, so that during the restart automatically the Jenkins server should be up and running. Like this, you need to execute these two commands. Okay, these are basic systemcl options commands, right? Now once the Jenkins is up and running, you know very well that Jenkins will always running, or it will be running under the port number 8080, right? So what you have to do, that you have to copy the public IP, come over here and do a HTTP, copy that IP, and then say 8080. So under the 8080, right, it will be using the port number 8080, right? So you could see that actually it has come to this page where it is asking you to give some initial password, guys, initial admin password. So basically, this is the for the first time you need to provide the password. Once it is given, later that password will not be used at all. So it says that to unlock the Jenkins, you need to provide this password. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this file. So this is the path, guys, where your key will be there. Sudo cat of provide that file name path, right? So this is a file initial admin path, right? This initial admin password. This is a file where it is maintaining that initial password. Copy this, paste it here like this. Then say continue. So we have to always go with the install suggestion plugin. Don't go with this select plugin to install. As of now, I will go with this actually. Click on this. So now you could see that it is actually installing various different plugins. You could see that Git plugin is installed, Ant is getting installed, Gradle is getting installed, right? There are a few of the other stuffs are getting installed, email exchanger, mailer, SSH build agent, everything is getting installed. So this is a very basic, plugins which are getting installed.
Excuse me, I have one doubt.
Yeah, just a second, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, here 8080 is the port number for the Jenkins, right?
That's a
But
default port.
yes, for that one, we need to enable firewall also, right? Security.
Yes, yes. Firewall you need to enable, because like we are working on your Ubuntu, your Amazon, not sorry, your yeah, Amazon. Your see, you have used this VM on in from the Amazon, right? Right. So what happened, right? By default, firewall, SE Linux, security Linux, everything they have disabled it. Suppose if you are working on your standalone VMware, suppose you have installed in your VMware, assume that in the when you're installing the VMware, suppose you have installed VMware Red Hat version you have installed, or CentOS version they have installed, right? By default, what happened, right? They will enable the firewall, and also the SE Linux will be enabled. So in that case, what happened, right? You have to go and you need to run the firewall command, firewall cmd, to make sure that this 8080 port is right. It is not coming under the firewall. So that few other settings you need to do when you are working on a standalone machine, standalone server. If you're working on any VM on a cloud, right, you need not to worry all those things, because everything firewall, everything is disabled here for this port. Okay. So here you come over here, you could see that after giving the right here, it is asking you to create some user account, the password. I'm creating some username. So, and I'm giving my username as Rajesh, password as something like Red Hat, full name is Rajesh Singh, email ID is mail Rajesh. Sorry, this is what I'm giving it, and then I'll just say save and continue. So this is what it is asking you. You can give this as a URL while launching your Jenkins. So even you can change this also later, right? So as I said earlier, also in the last previous session, I'm not really worried about this one. You can change at any point of time this Jenkins URL, right? And I'll just say save and finish, and start using the So guys, this is what my like a dashboard or the front page, how the Jenkins look like. Okay. So now we will continue from here itself, but yeah, okay. Now what happened, right? Already we are having one more server, guys, which we call the Docker. Let us see whether we can run Jenkins on the Docker actually, right? So I've already logged into the I have logged into the server actually. So this is nothing but this is a server which I've logged in. So let me run a sudo apt update command for updating the package, right? Okay, because as I said, right, guys, you need to make your Jenkins run under the container actually, under the Docker container. You need to install the Docker packages, right? You need to install the Docker actually. Without Docker, how you can install, how you can run, right? You cannot, right? So that's what. And let me do some other stuff. Sudo host name ctl set hyphen host name, right? And I'll say Docker hyphen server. That is the host name. I'm changing it. Right. So what I'll do, guys, for this, let me switch to the root user because I'll do everything as a root user. Sudo so hyphen root. So I'm running as a root user, right? I will run everything. Now I need to install the Docker actually, guys. So to install the Docker, let me run the sudo apt update here one more time, being a root user. So I need to update the package actually. Okay, this is done. Now you know very well that I need to install the Docker actually. To install Docker in a very simple way, what you can do, you can go to the Google, just search for get script Docker, right? This is what. So you need to, once you are just searching for this get script Docker, you could see that this is the first link you're getting. Click on this link. You could see that there are two commands are there, curl this command and this command. Just blindly copy paste this command. Just copy this command. You will get that script here, right? And say ls, you could see that this script has come. Now do an sh to this script actually. As you're running this script. So this script get docker.sh, it will do a complete installation of the latest Docker in your system. So here, guys, you need not to go to the official site and download and try to follow all the steps for installing Docker. That is not required because somebody has already written a script for you and he has placed the script under this path actually. Just download that script and run that script. That will nicely run and it will try to install your Docker container or the Docker package in your system, right? So this will take some time. So firstly, you need to install the Docker, guys.
Hello, Rajesh. You please mention that script in your notes.
Okay. So to install the Jenkins in Docker, we have chosen Ubuntu 20.04 server, and then we need to follow the steps below for installing Docker in Ubuntu or in your server. First one to do that, search in Google for Docker get, what is it? Get Docker script, right? Search for that. Get Docker script like that. Then second is that this is a site. Okay. Then third step, execute the two lines in your server. What is it? This one and this one. So once you have executed these two steps, you can see that it is installed now. How to verify whether the Docker is running or not? Same thing, systemctl status Docker. See guys, your Docker is up and running. So this is the command. You have to run it like this. So this is the command you need to do it. You can even restart also, as I said, right? You can restart also, right? Or else you can just say, or whenever you want to make sure that whenever the Docker is getting Docker is getting restarted, You need to always restart. Means you have to just say sudo systemctl enable docker.service. This is what you have to make it enable like this. Now the Docker is running. How to verify it? Yeah, it's running, but you have to run the command docker info. If this command is successfully getting executed, guys, then it means that the Docker is up and running in your system. You need not to worry. Right? Now what happened that I need to run a container where I need to install the Jenkins on that container, right? So to make sure that what I will do, guys, I will try to first log into my um, dockerhub.com, right? Docker Hub login hub.docker.com. This is what I need to log in. So let me log in. So I have my user account. My user account is Raj Linux. This is my account, and let me give the password. So this is my login credentials for my hub.docker.com. So all of you should have this account ID, guys. Right? You need to create account. It's a free account, so I have already logged in, right? Here, if I search for Jenkins, here if you search for Jenkins, see you have official image of Jenkins as well as you have sponsored OSS. So I can choose this one actually. So how to run this? You could see that you have to set docker pull and specify this image name. So what I will do, guys, I will come over here. So what I will do that I will just directly run the command. So docker container run -itd interactive terminal detach mode -p. It means that while running the docker container, it should you're mapping, you're doing a port mapping here. So I'm just doing a port mapping of 8080 to 8080 because 8080 is a port where your Jenkins is running, right? And then what is happened? This is what the image name I need to give, guys. Jenkins/Jenkins. See this Jenkins/Jenkins. Okay. Docker container run -itd-p, and this is nothing but the port, right? This is the port in which the Jenkins will be running, and this is the port through which you are accessing actually. So this is the host port, right? The host port, and this is the container port, right? So this is what -p option you have to use, and you are giving the image name. So let's say enter. Can you see here now Jenkins image is locally running? So guys, today's session will be a little lengthier. So I think you need to sit for 2 hours. So I expect you to sit up to 12 o'clock. Okay. So now you could see that the Docker container is up and running. So how to verify? You can just run a command docker container ls, right? That's the command. You could see that the Jenkins is up and running. It means that this Jenkins image is up and running, right? And this is the container ID. Okay, fine. Now, guys, uh, what I have to do that now this it is up and running. So you already did a port mapping here, correct? And you could see that 8081. Suppose you want whenever you want to access it, actually the container which is running, that is nothing but the Jenkins which is running, right? You need to always access with this port actually, right? So what I will do, I'll come over here, I'll go to my EC2 AWS account. So I need to have the public IP, copy this public IP, come over here and just say http colon, give the public IP and give the port number 8081. Okay? We're able to access the Jenkins. See guys, we're able to access. Now it says the same stuff. It is asking for you to give the password, right? So what you have to do that? You need to provide the password, but the password is there within this image which is running, right? You need to get into this path to get the initial password. So what I'll do, I will log in or I will get into inside this Docker container. How to get inside? You know very well that I need to run a Docker. What is the command guide? A Docker container exec -it. Provide your container ID. I'm sorry. Docker container ls. Docker, container ls docker container exec -it. Provide this container ID. Then say /bin/bash. So you are inside the container now. So now what I have to do that? You need that, right? You need to copy this whole path. Do a cat of this. See, now you got the initial password. Copy this, paste it here. Same stuff, guys. Again, see, install suggestion plugin. See, this is much simpler, right? It's a better way, right? Suppose whenever you want to run Jenkins, right? Running a Jenkins onto the container is better actually compared to installing Jenkins onto a standalone machine. So that's the reason, guys. In the industry, what happened, right? Nowadays, like not only with the Docker, not only with Jenkins actually. Suppose, like for example, you need to run some Ansible server. You'll be running an Ansible server not on a single standalone machine. You'll be running an Ansible within your Docker container itself. Suppose after the Jenkins, that we'll come across with something like a build server, like Maven server, Gradle, and all, right? Again, the Maven Gradle, right? What you will do, you will not install it as standalone. You will be running that Maven or Gradle in the container. That is preferably on Docker container. Similarly, like you will be, so the whole stuff nowadays, the industry, right? They are running all this service within the container itself, actually. So you could see that, see, now you have landed. I will give the same thing. Rajesh, password is Red Hat, Rajesh Singh is my, and then say mail Rajesh SRE. See, guys, I am doing everything here in this container, not with, this is my standalone. See, this is my standalone. This is my container. See, I will not do anything. Save, finish, start Jenkins. See, guys, how nicely it is working in your Docker container. See, same page, guys, nothing. See, what is the version here? 2.28, 2.328. This is the Jenkins version which is running inside the container. What about here? 2.375. See this again in the container. This is the latest one, guys, which is running actually. Whereas here, what we have installed is 2.375.1, right? So, so this is how things works in your Docker, right? So I hope that, guys, you got it. You understood, right? How exactly you can make Jenkins run under the Docker container, right? You understood, right? So I'll do one thing, guys. I will just stop this, right? I'll just so I'll just exit. I will just kill this. Actually, I don't need it actually. Or let me check Docker PS. Okay, running. There is one more command, is there no? Docker stats and specify the container ID. You need to check the statistical information, right, of this container, how much memory it is consuming. See, you could see that actually, guys, in my system, see, only 966 MB memory is there, out of which 414 MB is already used by your Docker container. See, memory 43% is already used actually. So it is very unbelievable that actually within just 400 MB, you are running your Jenkins actually. The same thing, if you say that Rajesh, I will give you 500 MB of RAM, run your Jenkins in a single standalone server, you cannot run it because the basic minimum requirement is that for Jenkins to have, you need to have minimum 1 GB or 2 GB of memory read. But how come this is possible in case of a container? That is a magic trick, guys. That is what we have already discussed about all these things in our Docker, right? Everything, right? So you could see that with a very limited resource, you are still able to run your Jenkins actually within a container. That is the beauty of your Docker container actually. So that's the reason that all these applications, like let it be any application, let it be microservices, all these are shipped in your Docker container itself, right? So I'll do a control C, guys, and let me kill this Docker container, Docker kill, and specify the container ID. You have killed the Docker container. Docker container less, nothing is there, right? So let me close this session, guys. I don't want it, right? So guys, I hope that you understood how exactly the Jenkins works in your Docker container, right? It's the same process. So what I did here extra, guys, let me tell you, let me write it down so that you will understand. So once this is done, actually, the fifth step, what I did here, that I just executed a command, docker container, uh, docker container run -itd -p 8081 port mapping edit. So I use this image Jenkins/Jenkins. This is what the official image if I used it. Once this is done, actually, what you would be doing that once the Jenkins is up and running, what you'll do, you will just do a Docker container ls. When you do a Docker container ls, you could see that your Jenkins container is running. Right. After that, what you will do, you will take the So same stuff actually. What you will do, you will open your web browser like any Chrome browser. You copy the public IP of your server, public IP, public IP of Docker hyphen server colon with 8080 port number, right? So once you're doing it, it will ask you for the initial password. To get the initial password, what you will do, you have to get inside the Jenkins container which is running. So how you will do the eighth step? What you will do, you will just say Docker container exec hyphen it, specify the container ID which is running the Jenkins container ID and specify slash bin slash bash, and then do a cat on that actually, cat onto that path, whatever the path is there, no, slash var slash lib blah 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 blah, something like initial admin password, something like that is there, right? So for that you need to do a cat. Once you are inside the Docker container, you need to just do a cat to this path actually. So whatever you did, right, it will show you some number. That number or that password you have to take and copy paste it, so that the further configuration of Jenkins you can do in the Docker container, right? So this is what the steps, guys, you followed to install the Docker. Sorry, to install the Jenkins in Docker container. Am I clear on this till here? So here today we saw two types of installation. One is on Jenkins server, one is a standalone server, and other on the Docker container, right? Okay. Now, so here,
Sir, in real time, which is going to use standalone or container?
that's what I said, sir. Most of the industries they are going with the containerization. Even your Jenkins server is also running within your Docker container. Your build server are running a Docker container. Your Nexus Artifactory is container running a Docker container. Your Ansible is running the Docker container. You take any tool or any service, right? It is actually running in a container. That's what. It is easily manageable.
Then no
Okay.
need to install anything.
Need not to install. That's what. Need not to install anything. You can go with a very high server configuration. You can create as many containers you need. One container where your Jenkins will be running, one container where the build server will be running, one container where the Git will be running, one container where the Terraform will be running, one container where the Nexus will be running, one container where the Docker is running, one container where the Ansible is running. See, you can actually take a very high configuration of the server and install the Docker and create the containers and run all kind of a service whatever you need within the container. That is what today the industry is looking for. They are turning into all these things. Yes, of course, there are many industries out there who want everything to be in a server. They go preferably they go with the server, install it, because what happened, right? What happened, right? You will get a better control if you're having a server. But what happened nowadays? Container also are very flexible. You know, right? When if the container goes down, basically what happened, right? You can create a replica of the containers, right? Replica of the same service you can create, right? And you know very well that if these containers all are working under the Docker Swarm or in the Kubernetes, you need not to worry. If the container, the pod goes down, automatically one more container, one more pod will get created, right? So that flexibility is there. So that we call the auto scaling. We say, right, correct,
Yes.
or the replication controller. If one pod goes down, the same pod will be restarted in some other working node. Correct. So now, so guys, this is the Jenkins dashboard, or this is what is nothing but the front page actually, right? Now here, so we would be learning about all these things, guys. Actually, now if you come over here, you could see that you're having in the left side something like you have a new item, people, build history, manage Jenkins, my view. Okay, there is something like a build queue. There is something like a build executor status. It is showing something like a to idle. What is this? We will see later. Don't worry now. Okay. Now if you come here, actually, right now, all these things, guys, we need to understand. Actually, we need to learn. Actually, right? We need to learn. Now coming back to here, this is my Ubuntu server, Jenkins server, right? Now, if I execute a command, who am I? Can you tell me which is the user who has logged in and who's working? It's a Ubuntu user, right? Okay, Ubuntu is a user. Fine. Okay. Now let me check, guys, which are all the users are there in the system. Like post Jenkins installation, I need to just verify which are all the users which are there in my system. So for that, what you will do, you will just say sudo cat of /etc password file. Okay. Let me run this command. or let me execute this command. Now you could see that these are all the system users, or these are all the users which are there in this system, right? Root user is there. Yeah, of course. If you come down, there's one more user by name Ubuntu is there, right? There are many other. Apart from that, can you see that there is one more user by name Jenkins is there? Okay, user ID, a group ID. This is a group name, and this is nothing but the home directory slash var slash lib slash var slash lib Jenkins, and this is nothing but your shell. Okay, what is this? This is what which is interesting to me now. Okay, what is this, Rajesh? Okay, what you are saying that post installation of Jenkins, you are trying to check which are all the users, which are all the users are there in Linux. For that, for that, you executed a command sudo cat of etc possibility. You have opened this file. So under this file, what you have observed at the last line, you could see something very nicely that this is available. Okay. So it means that after installation of the Jenkins, guys, by default, a user has been added into the system, and that username is Jenkins user. This is very important, guys. Keep it in mind, all these things, whatever I'm saying now. So Jenkins is a username. Okay, fine. User ID, fine. Group ID, fine. This is the group name, fine. This is nothing but the home directory of Jenkins. So the default home directory of Jenkins is is slash var slash lib slash Jenkins, right? And whenever the Jenkins want to log in it, so he can log in with the help of a bash shell. So he will get a default shell by name bash shell. Okay, fine. Now you will say that, okay, Rajesh, I understood what I'm saying that. Now, if I'm executing who are my command, so I'm getting a user by name Ubuntu, fine, because you have logged in as Ubuntu. Okay, good. Now, can I run a sudo apt update? Sudo apt update. Yes, you can run it. Okay. Can I install any package? Let me see. Sudo apt install Apache 2. You have seen this. I'm doing multiple times, right? Many times in my previous session, right? So can I install this Apache 2 package? Yes, man. I'm installing the Apache 2 package. See, you're able to install the Apache package. Now, what I'm trying to tell you here at this point of time, guys, this Ubuntu user, he is a normal user in Jenkins in this server actually, but he's also a super user or the sudo user. So Ubuntu is a is a sudo user. He can even install the packages also. But anything because he comes under the sudoers list. He's a sudo user. Okay, fine. That's the reason you could see that he's able to update. So he when you execute a who am I, you will get this that oh he's a user who has logged in. Okay, good. After that, he's trying to even run this sudo apt update. Yes, he's able to update the package also. Yes, he's doing able to do because Ubuntu is a normal user and also he's a sudo user. That's what he's able to do. Fine. Now what happened, guys? He's able to even install the package also by using a sudo apt install Apache 2-y. See, he's able to do this also. Okay, because he's a sudo user, he can do anything. But now why I said all these things, you'll come to know now later, right? Now what happened, right? So because the Ubuntu is a sudo user, can you see in the etc possibility sudo cat of etc possibility whether the Ubuntu user is there here? Yeah, he is there, sir. Okay. What is the user ID? This one. What is the group ID? Oh, he belongs to this group actually. What is his home directory, guys? Slash home slash Ubuntu. What is the shell he will get while logging in? He will get a bin bash shell. Okay, right. Now what happened, right? If if a Ubuntu user he's executing the PWD, see where he's sitting? He's sitting under the slash home Ubuntu. Okay, he's sitting under the slash home Ubuntu. Fine. Okay, got it. The same thing. Whenever the Jenkins works or whenever Jenkins logs in, where he will log in? When he logs in, he will come to this path. Actually, it means that this is nothing but the current home working directory. Let's see, guys. whether so let me switch to the root user first. Sudo su hyphen root. So I switch to the root user now. See, from the root user, can I switch to the Jenkins user? You can switch to Jenkins. See, now Jenkins has switched actually. If we execute the pwd, see where he's sitting, guys. He's sitting under slash var lib Jenkins. See, same thing. Whatever we saw in the configuration file, slash var lib Jenkins. Correct? Oh, it means that there is some user Jenkins. His home directory is slash var lib Jenkins. Okay, God. That's the reason under the etc possibility file, right? You could see that this user has been by default added while installing Jenkins actually. So Rajesh, the same thing happened while installing Jenkins in Windows. Yes, the same thing will happen. Happen, sir. There is a user account by name Jenkins will get created in your Windows server. The same thing will does it happens in the Mac OS when I'm installing Jenkins. Yes, it happens the same thing. It means that there also a user by name Jenkins will get created in your Mac OS. Anywhere you install Jenkins in any platform, sir, a user by default Jenkins will get created in that operating system. Am I clear on this, sir, till here? So let me copy this, guys, so that it will be a reference for you, right? Okay, good. So here I have copied it, everything, so that you will get to know about all the things. But till here, are you clear? Any doubts you have, guys? Just wanted to know.
No, sir, clear.
Okay,
Clear,
good,
sir.
good. Now, okay. Sorry. Okay, now, okay, now Jenkins has logged in. Okay, fine. Shall I execute a who am I here just to verify? Oh, Jenkins user. Yeah, the same thing. Whoever is logged in, that it will show his user ID. Or you can say who am I, or I can just say who space and space I, like that also can execute this. Okay, fine. Now, what are the things? Can a Jenkins user run a sudo apt install? Suppose assume that Jenkins user he want to install some package actually. Suppose you want to install some tree package. Let's see sudo apt install tree hyphen y. Guys, it asks me for the password. I don't know. I don't know what is the Jenkins password, guys. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, I cannot run. I cannot install any package. Okay, fine. Whether Jenkins can run a sudo apt update. Again, it is asking for the password, man. I don't know what is Jenkins password, right? I have not yet set. I don't know. So you cannot run. You cannot do all this operation, guys, because Jenkins is a normal user. Okay, you cannot do it. Okay, fine. So okay, let me do one thing, guys. Let me exit out from here. Let me exit out from here. Let it be. Let me come back to my normal user, that is Ubuntu. Okay. Now, what I will do, guys, I will go to my Jenkins homepage. This is my Jenkins dash, right? Now, whenever you want to create any project, whenever you want to create any project, you want to run that project or you want to run some job, always, guys, you need to always create a new item. You have to click on a new item. Can you see there's a new item? So click on this new item. So when you click on the new item, you could see that it is asking you enter a item name or enter the job name. Here you could see, guys, if you come down, you're having multiple menus or options. So either you have to go with the freestyle or either you can go with the pipeline. You can go with the multi-configuration project folder, multi-branch pipeline, organization folder. There are many menus are there, guys, here. You don't want to worry all these things actually. We will slowly one after the right. Once we start continuing our on our Jenkins journey, right? You will be coming across with all these options actually. Right now, what happened that I will always go with the freestyle project. Okay. Initially, guys, I will be going with the freestyle project. Later, after some point of time, maybe after 4, 5 session or 6 session, right? I will go with the pipelining, and I will go with something like a multi-configuration project, or I will go with the multi-branch pipelining. You could see the last 2 sessions I will be explaining about the multi-branch pipelining. So right now, most of our effort of understanding the Jenkins concept, everything, we will only follow the freestyle project initially. Okay. So what I will do that I will just write some job name. You can do any job name. I'll just say hello Jenkins. Already I've written hello Jenkins is there. I'll click on this freestyle project. You have to always click on this and then say okay. Now you could see that it is configuring the job. Now here you could see that, guys, you could see that you could see that actually here you have various submenus. You have a general, oh, this is a general description. Okay, this is the source code management. Can you see? If you click here, you will come here to the source code management. See, this is source code management. If you click here on the build trigger, you will see the build trigger. If you click on the build environment, you'll come across build environment. If you click on the build step, you'll come to the build step. If you click on the post build action, you'll come at a post. These are all the sub menus within that configuration. So within the configuration, you have a general, source code management, build trigger, build environment, build step, post build actions. So in interview, they might ask you while creating a freestyle project and when you get into configuration, can you tell me what are the main menus? What are the tasks you have, subtasks you have, or the main menus or the sub menus what you have? You have to say it has a general, source code management, build trigger, build environment, build step, build post build action. Like this, you have to tell it one by one. You need not to mug up this, guys, because once you start working or once you start working heavily on Jenkins, right, this by default will come to your mind. You need not to really mug up all these things. But it is always better that you should always keep in a mind that, oh, okay, after general there's something like a source code management, then build trigger is there, build environment is there, build step is there, post build action is there. Yeah, these are some of the things which are there. Actually, you have to always keep in mind whenever somebody asks an interview what is the freestyle configurations menus, you need to tell this. Okay, now what happened, right? I'm not really going for anything, guys, over here. Actually, I'm not really going for anything. What I will do here, directly I'll go with the build step. Actually, I can do, what are these things? You may ask, Rajesh, what is this? What is this? What is this build trigger? What is build? I will come slowly one by one. Don't worry. We will come across with all these things. These are very beautiful concepts. We need to know all these things, guys. But what I would go that directly, I will go with the build step. Actually, so under the build step, if you click here, add build stepper, you could see that you are having various menus. You are having execute a Windows batch command, execute the shell, invoke and invoke Gradle script. I'm not going with all these things, guys. I'm going with the execute shell. So when you execute the shell, this will be showing as a command line terminal, Linux or Unix command line terminal, which we call as a execute shell. If suppose somebody asks what is execute shell, it is something like whatever you're seeing the terminal here, right? This terminal, you're executing some commands and all, right? This is exactly same as the terminal here in Jenkins, right? So now what you will do, guys, I'll not do anything, guys. I'll just simply, I will explain. I'll just try to want to run a command. Now, say, who am I? That's all, right? Right? That's all. So I'm just executing. It means that while Jenkins job is running, I need to just execute this command. That's all. So I'll do one thing. I'll say apply, save it. Now you could see that, guys, a project by name Hello Jenkins you have created, right? You have created a project by name Hello Jenkins. You want to see what exactly you did the settings. You can again click here on the configure. Okay, just to scroll down. What are the things you did? Okay, I have did all these things. Fine. Oh, but in the build steps, actually, I have selected the execute shell. In that, I'm executing the who am I command. Okay, that's all. Then you just say save and apply, or apply and save and come out. Or with that, in this Hello Jenkins, only one job you have said, and that too in that job you have executing through a shell and you are running only one command. Who am I? Okay, fine. What is this changes workspace and all? Don't worry now. But there is something as a build now is there. So what you have to do, guys, you have to just click on this build. It means that you are running this job actually, or you are running this project actually. So just run this. Click this. When I click this, you could see here the left side, you could see that there is something was there. It has created something like a build ID or build number, and it is showing that it is a success actually. Always, whenever you see the green color like this, you'll understand that this job job has executed successfully. Click on this, guys. Click on this actually. Now, if you click on this, you could see that the sorry, the build one has been executed. This is the time so and so it has been executed. Now you could see that there is something like console output. So console output is nothing but command line output. You have to understand. So if you execute, if you just click on the console output, you could see that actually whatever the job output, right, executed, right, that output log you can see here. Now you could see that I'm executing who am I. Can it see that it is showing as a Jenkins, guys? Okay. Oh, it means that actually, Rajesh, when you're running, this Jenkins job, when you're running this Jenkins job, actually this Jenkins job, when you're executing this who am I, right? Who am I, right? Actually, it is actually executed by the Jenkins user actually. Did you understood what I'm saying, guys? So when I'm executing who am I, it means that who execute this command? The Jenkins user executes this command. It's same thing like here. If you do a switch to the Jenkins, see, when I am executing who am I, see, it is showing, right? So it means that who execute this job, guys? Who execute this project? Hello, Jenkins. It is actually the Jenkins who is a user who has executed this project. Okay. So it means that tomorrow, Rajesh, I'm running some hundreds of jobs in my Jenkins. I'm running a freestyle project. I'm running a pipeline project. I'm running a multi-branch project. I'm running n number of kind of jobs actually. Does the same Jenkins is the user who is actually running all the jobs? Yes, it's a Jenkins user who is running all the jobs. Okay, fine. So it means that Jenkins is the one who is actually running all the jobs. Okay, let me do one thing. When I execute the PWD, see, it shows me current working directory. So let me do one thing, guys. Let me go to the same job again. Okay, I'll go to this job again. Okay, I will configure it. I'll add one more command here. After who am I will just run PWD. Let me check what it says. Right? Run and save it. And you could see that again you can run a build now command. So build now will run the job. You could see that the second build has run and it is shown as a success. Click on this. You could see that you are directly going to the console output. You could see that who am I is Jenkins. Oh, he's a example. What is PWD? See, PWD is something like slash var lib Jenkins workspace hello Jenkins. Oh, it means that this is what the current working directory is showing. Okay. What is this? This is a workspace. We will deal this later after some point of time. But right now you understand that when he's executing the PWD, it is showing this path actually. Am I clear on this, sir? Till here?
Yes, sir.
Don't get worried, guys. Don't get confused actually, because whenever any job is getting executed by, see what you're doing as an UI, this is a user interface. When a UI you are running, but in the below in Linux actually, the Jenkins is user who's actually running your job. That's the reason what happened, right? After Jenkins installation, Jenkins user by default will get created in a system. This is one of the system. This is one of the user actually who has authority to run any job which has been executed by any kind of user from the Jenkins UI. This is a user interface, right? This is a web interface, right? Through this, you are creating some jobs and you are running. Okay, good. Okay, let me do one thing, Rajesh. Let me do one thing. Let me configure again. Okay, hold a second, guys. I'm getting one call actually. Okay, so now so now so guys, what I will do one thing, let me do one thing, guys. Let me run one more job actually. This time what I will do that I don't want these two commands, so I'll just run sudo apt update. Let me check whether it will run or not. If okay, so now I just added a I just added a command sudo apt update and just say build now. Okay, oh, it means that this has failed. So whenever you're seeing this cross, right, with the red color, oh, it means it has failed actually. So click on here, go to the console output, that is done by the command line output. Just see what it's doing. Whenever you're executing sudo apt update, see it is throwing some error. Oh, terminal is required to reset the password, either is something. So this is the error, guys. It means that the Jenkins user is not able to run the sudo apt update. So that's the reason I showed you at the time also, right? The Jenkins user, you are running the sudo apt update here in the command line, right? Sudo apt update. Does sudo update is getting executed? No, it is asking for the prompt. It is prompting for the password, guys. So that's the reason, guys, you are getting this error. Oh, it means that whatever you're doing at the below, everything the Jenkins is the one who is actually executing that command, or it is he the one who is actually executing the command. Remember, right, what I told you that in the last session, right? What is the Jenkins? Jenkins is not but the cron on steroids, right? Cron jobs on steroids. So you are running a cron job actually. You are running some kind of a job. You are giving a task to execute to the to your Jenkins. But the below in the Linux actually below, who is actually running? The Jenkins actually running. Okay. So this is what I needed actually. So what we can write here from the Jenkins UI, from the Jenkins UI, this is a user interface, guys, right? This is what the user interface. This is a user interface, right? From the Jenkins user UI, no matter what user what user you are logged in as, the see, no matter what user logged in. See here, who has logged in? Somebody by name Rajesh Singh, he has logged in. It doesn't matter whether Rajesh has logged in or Mahesh logged in. It doesn't really matter. This is not but the for the user credential to log into this Jenkins server. I have used some credentials. That doesn't matter actually, right? But right, that's what I said. That from the Jenkins user, no matter what user who has logged in as, so the low level commands are executed as a Jenkins user. So he is a Jenkins user, but he's a system user. He's a Linux user by name Jenkins. Okay. So now what happened, right? He is not able to execute the sudo apt update. Okay. So same thing, guys. You can you run the see if I execute the Python -fn version, see you're not able to run because Python is not there at all. This is throwing an error. Can I run the same job here? Sorry. Go to the Hello Jenkins. Configure. See Python -fn version. See, I'm running the same. Running the same command, guys. Actually, right? And just do a build now. See, again, this has got failed. We know very well that it has got failed. See what it says that see Python not found. Oh, it means that there is no Python installed because who is executing this Python -fn version? The Jenkins user is actually executing this command. For him, that command is not there. It means that Python package is missing. That's the reason you're getting failed. So hence what happened, the whole job is getting because this command is getting failed means the job itself is getting failed. That's the reason it is turning into red color now. Okay. Now you say that Rajesh, now I want to install the package man. Because my Jenkins, right? My Jenkins or what I have done, I have to run sudo apt install, especially with the package name. My Jenkins should run actually, right? If I'm running a sudo apt update, my Jenkins should run successfully without asking me the password. What to do? So what to do, guys? You have to make the Jenkins user as a super user, or you need to add your Jenkins into a sudo's list. So what have to do that? So now the question comes that I need to install always some packages, right? While configuring the jobs in Jenkins UI, right? You always need it, right? Or I need to run some super user privileges command like sudo apt update. Then you need to make the Jenkins user as a sudo user and right. So to do that, there are multiple ways are there, guys. To do that, I will be adopting a simple method. So I'll just exit out. So I'm being a Ubuntu user. So I'll just do a sudo vi sudo. You have seen this multiple time in my previous session also. Sudo vi sudo enter. So come down here, guys. So you are making the Jenkins as a sudo user. Like this, you have to add Jenkins space all equals colon all like this. It should not ask for any password. You have to say use no password. Then say colon all. Like this you have to do. And what you say that control X, say Y and say enter. Now you have made the Jenkins as a sudo user. So again run it the command. Again I'll show you sudo vi sudo enter. Add this line, guys. So what have to do that? You have to run this command sudo vi sudo. This is one method. There are multiple methods are there, guys, to make it as a sudo user. This is the only simple method I'm doing. Inside that, once you do it, actually, you have to add this line actually. You need to add this line. So here you're making a Jenkins as a sudo user or as a sudo user. Then save that file actually, right? After saving it, now switch to the Jenkins. Can Jenkins run a sudo apt update now? Oh, see, superbly he is able to update it. Earlier it was asking for the password. Now you could see that he's not asking for the password. Can Jenkins can install any package? Oh, let me see. Sudo apt install the tree package -y. See, he is able to install the tree package also. See, he's able to run the tree package. So this is how, guys, you have made it as a super user, right, Jenkins? Now what I'll do, you'll go back here, go back to your jobs, guys. Again, go to the configure. Now what you do, guys, you need to just remove this sudo apt update. Earlier it was failing. Now just see whether it will work or not. See, now run that. Now just again you say build now. So what you added there, sudo apt update. That's all. So you just did triggered a build now. See, now you could see that it has passed actually. See, click on here. You could see that, guys. See, if you're running a sudo apt update, see, it has updated the package and it has shown that the job has been successful. So it means that you are saying that, Rajesh, whatever you do, whatever command you execute, by default, the Jenkins user who is executing the command. Okay. See, UI is just a facet. It is just a right. This UI, it is just in, it is. Some people say that, Rajesh, can I achieve everything through plugin? Right? Why you need it? Hey, no, man. Plugin is there. Fine. Plugin will only give you kind of a user interface. But in the below, that the Jenkins has to do it actually. Now you say that, Rajesh, can I run any job where my this through the UI I need to call an Ansible server, or I need to run some playbook through the Ansible server, where I need to connect to the Ansible server and run the playbook. Can I do it through my Jenkins UI? Yes, you can do it, sir. How you can do it? Because the Jenkins should have a connectivity. It should able to execute the Ansible related commands. Then it will work. Okay, fine. You will say that, Rajesh, tomorrow I need to configure something in through your Jenkins, so that I need to write some job where I should call some Terraform file, some Terraform, where that it is going to create an infrastructure in my AWS account. How to do that? Will that happen? Yes, sir, it will happen. How it will happen? If the Jenkins user can run the Terraform command, like for example, Terraform init, Terraform apply, Terraform plan. So it means that whatever, if the Jenkins user can run that command, your UI will work actually. If the Jenkins user cannot run the below user command in the Linux, right? If it cannot run that command, it means that the UI will fail actually. It doesn't mean that if you're installing the plugin, it will happen. No, like that. No, it's not like that. Your Jenkins should have a access and permission and also necessary software to be installed, so that this Jenkins can invoke any kind of a command. So UI, this UI will make you very much fascinating, so that you can configure and everything, you can work. But finally, what happened at the below? This is the user who is actually executing. This is what you have to keep always in the mind. Clear, guys? So tomorrow you say that, Rajesh, this UI, can I write a job where the job will launch the rocket? Yes, it will do, sir. How it will do? If the Jenkins user can launch that command, where by executing the command where that command will launch the rocket, definitely this UI will pass it actually. So can I write any job where the job will launch the satellite into the space? Yes, sir. If the Jenkins user, if this user has a command where when executing that command, it can launch the satellite to the space, definitely your Jenkins UI will also does the same thing. So like that you have to understand, guys. But with that, whatever you are running through a UI, ultimately at the below in the Linux itself, this is the one who is actually executing that command. All the jobs, everything is running by the Jenkins user. Am I clear on this, sir? Till here. I hope, guys, you understood whatever I'm trying to explain you. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is what. So people will understand some fancy thing. Okay, Rajesh, let me install the plugin. With the help of a plugin, everything will work fine for me. No, it's not like that. Plugin is just an user interface, guys. That's all. But at the below in the Linux system, Jenkins is where which actually executed. If the Jenkins cannot do anything, there is no use of plugin. You have installed the plugin, still things are not working. You will run away the administrator saying that, hey, why this even after installing plugin also, man, some things are not working. Not like that. The Jenkins user are not able to do that. Hence, plugin cannot do anything for you. Plugin is a nice user interface. By plugin will give a lot of options, lot of add-on options it will provide to the user so that he can play around with the Jenkins user interface nicely. But at the below, Jenkins is the one who has to do it actually. Okay, so now what happened, that I already updated it, right? I already updated through your vi sudo, right? Sudo vi sudo, and again I did it, right? You are able to run the sudo apt update, right? That's a command you need to, you have already updated it, right? Okay, one second, guys. Okay, now what I should write, right? So from uh, Jenkins UI user interface, we can do anything that the Linux user Jenkins and but this is what I want to say, convey to you all. So it means that now what happened, the because you have made the Jenkins as a super user, right? You can even install any package actually. You can even install any package. Like for example, if you go here at the job, you go here, you say that Rajesh, I want to run some other command. Like for example, uh, sudo apt update is there. Now I have to install some package. Sudo apt install. What is it? I need something like a wget package. I'll do a wget package. Save it. Run this command by executing run build now. We're building. So one more job has executed. See, 6 job has executed. See, it has executed. It has executed. But it said that wget is already installed. Nothing to do. That's what. But the job has success actually. It means that this command can be executed by your Jenkins user like that. So now what happened, guys? Now here with this hello Jenkins job, right, guys? You have run, you have executed many of the jobs. There are 6 jobs you have run. So this is not but the build jobs actually. Build job 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that actually. It will be keep running. It will be keep piling up actually, right? You can even restrict. You said that Rajesh for that particular day I should not run more than 10 jobs. Can I restrict that? No, no, not more than 10 builds jobs has to run. Yeah, you can restrict it. How to do that? I will tell you later. Okay, but you can you can run as many number of jobs, right, for that particular job, right? You can run as many number of builds actually, but you can restrict also like 5 or 10 or 15. That we will see later. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, now, okay, let me check it. Okay, okay, guys. Now, let us see a few more things and then we will stop our session. So, like here, so Jenkins is a user who is the one who is executing it. When I execute the PWD, it is showing me the current working directory /var/lib/Jenkins, right? So this is the home directory for the Jenkins actually. Suppose somebody in intro ask what is the home directory for Jenkins? After installation of Jenkins, what is the home directory? You have to say /var/lib/Jenkins, sir. Okay, fine. Now, suppose if I'm doing let me clear the screen. If I'm doing a long listing of this /var/lib/Jenkins, can you see what is this? Guys, these are all the configuration files of Jenkins. All configuration. If you do just ls, see, can you see these are all the configuration files of Jenkins. So there, these are all, we will be going through all this configuration by one, right? So slowly, whenever we require that, we'll get into that configuration file. We try to understand now. So what is our main intention now today? That we need to understand 2 important configuration file. One is that the 2 important configuration. One is a jobs actually, and other is a workspace. What is this jobs and what is this workspace? We'll understand now. Okay, this is very important, right? So let us explore now the home data of the Jenkins. This is the home data of the Jenkins, right? Let's explore. Let's explore So home directory of Jenkins. So if I execute a pwd, it will show as a /var/lib/Jenkins. This is the home directory, right? This is a default home directory. Directory, and this is the output you are getting actually. Out of which, what we'll be discussing today, we'll be discussing about jobs and we'll be discussing about the workspace actually. Now, let's see what these jobs contain actually. So this is a directory, guys. If you see it, this is a directory. What is a workspace? Workspace is also a directory only. If you say D, it means it's a directory, right? Now let's see what these jobs contain, right? Now, if I execute a command, tree, okay, onto the jobs actually. Can you see here, guys, what it is showing you? See, it is showing the jobs. Under the jobs, you are having something as a Hello Jenkins. So whatever the project you created, right, the Hello Jenkins, that Hello Jenkins job is there. Under that, you are having some build folder is there. Under build, can you see that build number 1, build number 2, build number 3, build number 4? See, how many are there? Build number 6. See, you are having a 6 builds. All the 6 builds, what have executed, right? That is there in your jobs folder actually, right, into the job folder. Now you could see the under build, each and every build, again it has some 3 files. One is a build.xml, change.log xml, and log. These are some important configuration files which each and every build has. What is this? We will see later, don't worry, right? Now you could see that apart from all these things, guys, in the Hello Jenkins, can you see something as a config.xml is there? What is this config.xml? Okay, so tree, or else you can do a cat of uh, ops. What is that? Hello Jenkins config.xml. So I'm just doing a cat of this. Okay, guys. So when I'm doing a cat of this file, guys, this is the config.xml file which get created when you are building a job actually. See here, guys. What is the last job which you executed, guys? 6th job, right? Now, if you go to the 6th job, you are into the, and if you do a configure, can you see that you had given sudo apt install wget-y? Okay, come over here. See, what is the job? What is the command you execute the last? This is the command you executed. Okay, so what is this, Rajesh, all about config.xml file? You say that whenever you are creating a job and whenever you are filling all these different, like menus, everything, you fill it, right? By default, the Jenkins will create a config.xml for this job actually. So that by default, this is a config.xml will get created actually. So you could see that here, project action or description is nothing, false. It's a Hudson project, fine, right? And after that, what is there? That it is a what, it's upstream or downstream, whatever. Trigger, false. You're not triggering anything. You are just calling the shell task, and in that you are actually running the sudo apt install. So what is happening, guys? Like this, you have to understand. Like whenever you are creating any job, actually. Okay. Whenever you are creating any job like this, actually, see, whenever you're creating any job like this, guys, actually, whenever you're creating any jobs like this, actually, right? So whenever you're creating any job like this job, guys, basically when you're creating, configuring anything in a UI, basically it will try to, it'll, what will happen that it will try to create a config.xml. It'll try to create a config.xml. Like that, you have to understand. Okay, whenever I'm doing it, so all these things will be converted into the config.xml by your Jenkins itself. And finally, it will apply this configuration file to run that job. Guys, I hope that you understood what I'm saying. Correct? So that's the reason under the jobs, and you under the jobs directory you have a job name, and under that you have builds, various builds, whatever the builds you have executed, it will maintain all the information about each and every build and specify the log build.xml. All this we will be discussing later. And finally you have something like config.xml file. This is not but the whole the last build which you have run, right? That's configuration information will be maintained by this config.xml file. The last builds, how to say. Is it clear, guys? Right now what happened? So now this is one important thing, right? Jobs, under jobs it maintains everything, guys, right? Tomorrow if suppose somebody said, Rajesh, I need to take a backup of my whole Jenkins, man, because tomorrow in the industry also in the interview they'll ask, like, you need to take a backup of the home directory. So what exactly you'll be taking a backup for your whole entire Jenkins? Is it something like a Jenkins jobs you'll be taking a backup, or workspace, or something else? What else? You said that no, sir, a whole slash var lib Jenkins, right? This whole entire thing I'll be taking a backup actually, because tomorrow if the server crashes, right, you can install the Jenkins and go over there and replace this whole file into the slash var lib Jenkins into that new server. And once you make it run, you will get all those jobs, whatever you have executed previously in your older Jenkins server, right? Everything will be available in your new Jenkins, right? So that's how it is. Always you have to take a backup of this whole entire slash var lib Jenkins directory. Whole thing, sorry. Apart from this, what is this workspace, guys? Workspace is something like a storage actually. What do you mean by storage? For example, like Jenkins is trying to download some files. Like for example, this Jenkins, right? This Jenkins job is trying to download some file. Suppose assume that Jenkins is trying to download from some kind of a Git server. It is trying to download the whole source code, everything. Where that source code will be residing, under which path? It will be residing under the workspace directory. Whenever the Jenkins will try to download, suppose you have configured in such a way that your Jenkins jobs is integrated with the Git server, and you're trying to call one job where you want to do a Git clone of that whole project from the Git to your Jenkins, then that will be coming and sitting here in this workspace, right? To just show you that experiment, let us do one thing. Let us, already I'm there in the configure, right? I'm already there in the configure. Let me do one thing. Let me run one command. Hello echo hello Jenkins. Okay, redirect it to 1.txt file. Save it. So I'm running one more job, guys. What I have did in configuration, in the configure, I've just added this line. That's all. So what I'm doing here, the whole output of this will be redirected to a file by name 1.txt. It means that 1.txt file should be created somewhere in some path, in some location. It should be created. Correct. So what I'm doing that I'm just trying to see how this workspace works actually. That's what I'm just showing here. So build now. Okay, see the seventh build is done and it's showing success also. Let me click on the console output. Okay, see that. Oh, so whatever you did a echo hello Jenkins, right, it has executed it, and also this whole output it has redirect to a file by name 1.txt, where it has created this 1.txt. Can I do a tree onto the slash workspace directory? Just see, let me clear the screen. Can you see, guys? See, hello.text, hello.jenkins. Under this 1.txt is created. Oh, it means that this is a storage. It means that whenever you are actually doing, you want to store any data within a Jenkins, the data will always reside under the workspace. Go to the CD to the workspace. To the workspace, enter ls. Can you see there's a hello Jenkins job is there? Ls. See here this 1.txt file is there. When you do a cat of 1.txt, see whatever you have written, right, echo hello Jenkins, that has been redirect to this file. Am I clear on this, sir? You have to just understand two things. What the jobs contain? The jobs contains all the build jobs, whatever you are running here, the whole build job, whether it is passed or failed, everything that would be placed under your jobs directory. If in case any kind of a data you need to save within your Jenkins, or whenever you want to download any data, where the data will reside or where the source files will be residing, it will be residing under the workspace directory. This is what you have to understand today, guys. That's all, no other thing. Okay, guys, am I clear on this till here?
Yes, sir. All clear.
Good. Any doubts? I think today we'll stop it here, right? It has crossed more than 1.5 hours. So I think the whole concept you understood, right? How to create a simple job, freestyle project. We played with it. We played right by writing few jobs, and then later I explained about what is the Jenkins user in the Linux actually, and you got to know that who is a Jenkins user? He's the one who actually execute all the jobs. And finally, we understood two of the important configuration. One is a jobs, and other is a workspace, right? And all your the home directory for Jenkins is /var/lib/Jenkins. You have to only remember that. That's all. From
Yes,
here,
sir.
guys, we will be stepping one by one, one step by one step, one step. We'll be keep going on now, right? That's what. So, are you finding interesting?
Yes, sir.
Great. Chalo then. Thank you, guys. That's all for the day today. If you have any doubts, you can ask, or else we'll wind up today's session. So, what is the next agenda, guys? Next agenda, very important. Next class agenda. Next class, we need to learn about something like how to clone the repositories, particularly the Git repositories, right? You need to clone. It means that you need to download any kind of a code what is there in the Git, how to do it actually, and after that we need to build some Java projects actually, right? Basically, right, you can build a Java project or .NET projects, right? But preferably we'll be learning initially the Java projects actually. To build the Java projects, guys, you need to have some kind of a build tool. So we'll be learning about the Maven and little bit introduction about the Ant we'll be learning, right? So Maven, I'll be taking around 2 sessions on Maven. On Nexus, we'll be taking 2 sessions, 2 to 3 sessions. Sonar Cube, we'll be taking 2 sessions. Tomcat server, I'll be taking 1 or 2 sessions like this. So in the upcoming sessions, we would be covering all these things serially one by one. First, I'll be covering the Maven. I'll be showing how to build a projects through the Maven. And afterwards, we'll be explaining about why we need a Nexus and how to configure Nexus and how to integrate the Nexus with your Jenkins. Same thing with the Sonar Cube. What is Sonar Cube and how to configure Sonar Cube and how to integrate Sonar Cube with your Jenkins. And then what is this Tomcat server? Yes, we need an application server also, right? Because ultimately this Java project, whatever you build, right, that has to be hosted or that has to be run in some kind of a server, application server. That is a Tomcat server, right? So these things and all we need to cover, guys, actually. So you could see that next 2 to 3, 4 weeks almost, we will be busy in learning all these things, right? This is what we will be progressing in our Jenkins. This is all we have to learn actually. Later I'll be showcasing some few things, extra things also. Many other things are there which will be coming across. So I'll be explaining then and there itself in the session. Okay. Sure, guys. That's all for the day today. Okay. If no questions, we'll wind up.
Rajesh,
ठीक, बोलिए बस.
is there a second class in the evening?
I will let you know. I'll put in my this one group actually. I will let you know, guys. Maybe I will try to continue. I'll continue at 5 o'clock. If not, then see. I will tell you one more thing, guys. Actually, see what happened. Right, this week, right? This week means this coming week. I'll be busy in uploading some Git videos actually because I have an incomplete Git in my playlist actually. Only 4 videos are there. I'll be covering this few of the Git videos in this week. Maybe around 2 to 3 videos I'll be uploading in my Git playlist actually. Once that is completed, guys, I'll be free. And then what happens in the next week onwards? Instead of weekends, even apart from the weekend, I will also be doing Jenkins in the weekdays also, so that we can fastly cover the Jenkins. So this week I will not be doing it. Next week, probably after 25th, 26th, right? I might tell you to come on Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday morning, like 10 or 11 o'clock or some time. I might call. If you are available, you can join the session so that I can continue my Jenkins. Again, when it weekends comes, right, I will continue the normal Saturday, Sunday, right? Evening 5 o'clock, I will cover that like that. So that while doing that, at least we'll be a little bit faster in completion of the Jenkins. That's all about my idea. If you're okay to take up every day also, yeah, alternate days also, I'm okay. I'm fine with that also. So we will see that, guys, because this week I'll be busy in the Git actually. So I will be recording the Git along with my friend. Actually, if anyone is interested, let me know. I will share the separate link for that so that you can attend the Git, and I will be completing that Git also. That is what my main motto now is, to complete the Git, complete few more sessions on Ansible, and full-fledged completion of the Jenkins. That is what my target is now.
Sir, can I know the your YouTube channel name?
No, you know, right? Most of you know, guys, who are
Yes, sir.
Rajesh-Devops. This is what my channel is. Just type Rajesh-Devops, you will get to know. And this is a playlist. You have all this. Here, what happened? You could see that into the Git, only 4 videos are there. I need to add another 4 to 5 videos I have to add so that my Git will get completed. Same thing with Ansible. 21 videos are there, but 2 to 3 videos I have to add it so that this will get completed. Once, then after that, what happened? I can Arams I can concentrate only on Jenkins completion. Once this is over, right, my headache will get over. Then I can completely concentrate on Jenkins. Okay, guys. Chalo all then. Thank you. Thanks for
Okay,
joining today.
thank you.
I will let you
Thank
know
you.
if I'm able to take it or not. If I'm not taking, I will put in a message in our group that I'll not be taking. If I take it, definitely I will let you know by 3 o'clock. Okay. Most probably I'll be taking. If not, if some changes happen, then I will let you know. Okay. Sure, guys. Chalo. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Naresh, can you stop the recording? Oh, left. Okay.